Do you own a service business? If so, you may want to pay attention. Do you remember why you started that business in the first place? All the time and financial freedom you were going to have with your family and friends? Then you ended up wearing so many different hats in your business, and the thought around growing the business means more time at work, less time with family and friends, and more headaches with employees. If that's you, we have the solution. It's a simple formula that works, and it starts with structuring your business in a simple way that makes everything else easier. Finding and hiring the right people that actually help you grow the business, and helping you implement the key things to make your whole team more efficient and effective. This is the Pivot Ready Business System by Bergflow. We've helped hundreds of small service businesses grow and become highly successful. Elevate your opportunities, profits, and time freedom.
To get more information on Bergflow and what we can do for you, click below.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Under Pressure Podcast, where we're going to talk about and discuss all things business and under pressure. My name is John. I'm your host. Listen, I'm so glad you guys can come. Occasionally, y'all have seen I'll do some of these posts, some of these episodes, and it's just me. All right. And I like to interview people as well. So once in a while, it's just going to be me, and I'm just going to give you guys and gals out there some information, some tidbits, and we're going to really get into a specific topic because I think that's important to do once in a while. All right. So please bear with me. Also, you're going to see some changes to some of the graphics. It's just, hey, once in a while, you make a few changes. You got to do that. Okay. So it's cool. It's going to be great. You guys are going to love it. So anyway, let's dive into today. We obviously everyone knows or should know if you're listening to my show and you've been a guest on it or you've heard it, you listen to it, yes, I work for Bergflow. We are a coaching and consulting company. And we do, we'll talk about Bergflow on here. I want you, this is just a way for me to let you know, don't look at this topic today. Okay. What we're going to be talking about is specifically accountability and like from coaching, mentoring, from that aspect. Okay. So this is not a push for Bergflow necessarily. Yes, we would love to work with any companies that need the help, that want the help, that we can help. But this is more specifically about just that topic of accountability and where can you find it and how important and why is it important, all of these things. So, everything else aside, we'd love to work with anyone that has a service business out there that wants to work with us and that we're a good fit. But also the main thing here is this caveat to let you guys know, the main thing is, and the takeaway that you should be looking at or thinking about as you listen to this is specifically you need to be accountable in your business or in your personal life as well. So this isn't just about business. We're going to discuss a little bit of the personal side of this too, because if you're running a business, there's a part of that, right? Like part of this is going to bleed into your business, your personal life. So yes, we're going to discuss that. We're going to talk about that. So let's dive in, man. This idea of literally like changing, it's a game changer in the world of business and personal growth. The coaching and more importantly, this magic of accountability, right? So yeah, I can give so many references to it, but let's talk about this real deal. We're going to get real. We're going to talk about the real deal about coaching, right? Because everyone's scared of it. I don't know. We think of coaches and of course growing up, you're thinking about like football, baseball, and sports and all this stuff. And then what do? They're teaching you, they're helping you through, they're yelling at you, they're pushing you in a direction. So you're learning, you're growing, you're getting better. That's what a coach does, right? Um, so, but let's talk real talk as like business owners or professionals, um, or whatever you're doing specifically. Um, you are constantly juggling a million things, right? Feeling the heat of the market and dealing with the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, if that's what you're doing. Or if you're one of those leaders in that role, it's still the same, right? But have you ever wondered how coaching can, like having someone, a mentor, a coach, can be a game changer in this crazy world we're in, right? Have you ever kind of considered that? Um, we're not talking about some fluffy motivational speeches here, right? But practical, results driven coaching, right? That's what we're talking about. And the idea is sometimes people are like, well, I've got a buddy that, we talk business and he's keeping me accountable. Is he keeping you accountable? Or are you guys just talking business? Right? Is he pushing you? Is he driving you? Are the conversations real? Are they taking you to the next level? Are you getting in rooms and being around people and people driving you and like someone saying, hey man, we discussed this last week or yesterday or a month ago. Where are you at on that? What does that look like? And that could be something as simple. A lot of you can think of it as like, why do people hire personal trainers? Why? It's because primarily accountability. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you can go online and you can pull up a um, and the internet's amazing, right? There's so many tools out there on the internet. So you can go online, you could pull up um, workout plans, and man, they're limitless. You could hundreds and hundreds of thousands of workout plans out there. Some of them are going to look very similar. Some of them are a little bit different depending on what's your goal. Now you got to get split. What's your goal on that? And then you look that up. Well, I want to lose weight. Well, I want to get buff. Um, Fantastic. You could find that, right? And then let's say you're looking at it, but you don't know what the exercise, you don't know how to do the exercise it's saying to do. Guess what? You can look it up. You could go online, get on the computer, and there, you could probably find a video that will demonstrate how to do that, how to use the equipment, what's the best way, how many reps, how many sets, all this stuff, right? You could plug that in your brain and you could head out to the gym, buy your membership, show up, do the stuff, bam, you're good. Are you good? Like, why do people hire trainers? And the answer is clear. You all know what the answer is. They need someone to keep them accountable because you might show up first day, second day, third day, fourth day, you skip because you're a little tired or something happened. You had an event and stayed out a little late, whatever. Well, then it was pretty easy to skip that fourth day. I'll get started back next week. So it's this process of like, there's no one keeping you accountable. So that's where you see it. We see it constantly. Trust me, I was a personal trainer. I'm still technically a personal trainer. I'm just not currently training. This is one area where it's easy to translate what I'm trying to say, right? And everyone can get this in their mind because even if you haven't done training, you probably know someone that's been involved in that. So the idea is someone holding you accountable, that they're going to be sitting there waiting and you've got to show up. And then you got to show them you're doing the work, right? Because if you just show up to the gym and you've got your accountability and y'all just sit there and talk about whatever, talk about lifting weights or talk about running, or that ain't going to work. You're not going to get results, right? That's a waste of time. So, and if they're a good accountability, if they're a good trainer, they're not going to let you do that. Like they'll be like, "Hey, man, uh, let's cut the chit chat. Get under the bar. Get your body moving. Let's go." Right? That's what you're getting paid for. So, all that to say on that, you know, results driven, right? seeing results, someone keeping you accountable. Okay. So now let's talk about like the secret sauce, right? The secret sauce for success, I'll say. So here's the secret sauce, and it's what I've been talking about for business success, for life success, accountability. Okay. It's that magical ingredient that can turn your dreams into achievements. I mean, it really is. And some of you out there are probably thinking, dude, I'm self-motivated. I don't need accountability. Okay. Maybe not, up to a point, right? And maybe you are one of those people that you don't need accountability at all. You are, man, you're going to push forward, you're going to drive on, and nothing can stop you. Nothing's going to slow you down. That is freaking phenomenal. For the rest of the world, many times we need accountability. And it may be like maybe you're talking about business, but what about your work life? I mean your home life, right? What about home life? What about your personal side? So maybe you're the gung ho business. You know, how's your gut doing? How's that big giant belly going? How's your health? You know, I I, I don't have a belly. Okay, I don't have. Why? And some of you might be getting mad at me right now, like, who's this? No, I'm not calling you out like in a sense of you're lazy, but it probably has something to do with accountability, right? So you can be gung ho in one area, but you gotta be able to do all of it, right? You can't you can't just pick and choose and then just be a lazy freaking slob over here and have no accountability in your personal life. And that includes not just health, all right? It's also relationships. And you're accountable to your spouse or um, your partner, whoever that is. Being accountable is is really what's going to it is that magical ingredient that's going to make things happen and achievements happen. So you see, it's easy to make grand plans, right? We can all make these grandiose plans and have these BHAGs and all this stuff, but follow through is where most people stumble. That's the point. Like, make the plans and you take 4 steps and then you stumble and that's it. Okay, drop the ball. It's over. Accountability holds your feet to the fire, right? And it keeps you on track towards your goals, even when it gets tough. Because you've got somebody in your corner there, right? You've got that mentor, you've got that coach. Um, you have that, man. That's that magic sauce. You have it. They're there, and you got to find someone that works for you. Okay. And guess what? It probably shouldn't be your best friend. I'm not saying there's not certain areas like maybe in faith or um, stuff like that, depending on your faith. Some of that can be a friend, but when it comes to like having the tough decisions, like you might even end up getting a little ticked off at your coach or your mentor, right? Like calling you out. But that's their job. That's what you want, right? So it's a secret sauce. So let's talk a little bit about like struggles and breakthroughs. So it's time to get real with ourselves. We all face challenges in business. If you're in business, you're facing challenges daily, man. They're dumpster fires. Like they're just wheeling these dumpster fires at you all day long. There's somebody broke something or and there's an unhappy client, whatever it is. I mean, you guys know there's just this list and there's stuff happening all the time, all of these challenges. And sometimes it feels like we're on the brink of like throwing in the towel, right? Like, dude, I'm done. Friday's coming up, and today's Friday, recording this. You know, for me, it's Friday, and I'm like, yes, man, I'm like so close to the weekend and this and that. Um, but there are times these challenges happen, and we just right there so close to being like, man, I don't need to deal with this, right? But that's precisely when accountability comes to the rescue, right? That's when those moments happen. That's when you need that. And being able to reach out or know that it's coming up, someone's going to be there. Like you've got that meeting set and you're like, God, I'm so close to getting to this meeting, getting the accountability I need. They're going to talk me through this. They're coming to the rescue. That's their job. When someone holds you accountable, you find that strength to push through the obstacles and experience the sweet taste of victory, right? That's what you want. You're probably picturing that you should have these images in your mind of this victory of pushing through, and then you're like, thank you, man. Thank you for holding me accountable to that. But what if they weren't there? What if they weren't present to do that for you? And if you don't have that at all, then it's you drop the ball. Okay. So you have struggles, you break through them, and accountability can make it so much easier. It's simple, but it's not easy, I guess. So the simplicity of it. Yes, it's hard, but it's even harder when no one's in your corner. Okay. So think about that, right? Like that's why I thought this was so important because I need it. And I'm diving in, I'm jumping into I've got an accountability group and guess what? I pay a lot of money for it. It's just a fact. But that's okay because I want the community. I want to get in rooms and get around people uh, who are thinking higher. I want to be the guy down here in the room where everyone's up here. And I want those people and coaches and mentors and these people pulling me up. And I'm reaching. I'm not just standing there waiting on them to pull the rope. And no, I'm reaching and I'm climbing. But when they are seeing me struggle and battle through, they're reaching down and they're pulling me up and they're holding me and they're keeping me accountable. Okay. That's the point. That's what it's about. All right. So enough talk, right? Let's get practical. Here's what I want you to do. So take a moment to think about your biggest goals, biggest business goals, right? This is a business podcast. So we're going to talk business. All right. Think about those. Think about your business goals, big goals. And start thinking about personal ones too. Now, imagine having someone by your side, okay? Cheering you on and nudging you in the right direction when you're like you're tempted to just like go off the track. You know, you're speeding through and you got somebody in the seat next to you and you want to pull off. Like it's too intense, it's hot, or whatever it is, whatever's going on. Someone's right there cheering you on and nudging you in the right direction. That's the power of accountability. And the best part is you can start implementing that today. If you've got a business, you're CEO, you're the owner, you can do that right now. You can contact us, set up an appointment with BergFlow, and we're happy to kind of talk, see if we fit. If not us, do it to someone else. Okay, go somewhere and talk to another coach. Go, it's fine. Told you we're not trying to sell you here. What I'm trying to sell you on and convince you of is finding and implementing accountability in your business life and in your personal life. And if you got to pay for it because it's going to pay off. As long as you're doing the work and you're I can tell people all day long and hold them accountable. But if they're just going to blow me off, don't waste my time. Right? If you're not going to do the work, then yeah, okay, sit back and don't be held accountable and don't do the work. and stay right where you're at. I don't think that's what most people want in their business, right? I don't think people want to just stay. That's the reason. What's the reason you have a business? What, you just want to like make a little bit of money? Did you create a business to be like self-employed? Is that all you did? Like you're not really a business owner. Maybe you're just self-employed. That's fine if that's where you want to be and you don't want to move the needle at all. Or you can move the needle and you can be a business owner where you didn't just create a job for yourself, but you've created a job for many other people, and it's growing and it's moving and I mean, there's struggles and there's, it's tough, but then you have these victories, all this stuff, and someone's holding you accountable, right? It's exciting. Okay. You can implement that now in so many ways. There's so many avenues out there. So let's talk about like accountability and action. Like I don't just, like I just said, I don't just preach about accountability. I live it too. Uh, I'll share with you how I've personally experienced the power of accountability in business or in my personal life. Whether it's been like me trying to like setting ambitious like targets, maintaining a healthy work life balance, accountability has been the driving force behind my success. Okay. So I've told you, I just mentioned like I'm a part of a group that I pay for. Okay. I've got friends and stuff, and I can call on them and they'll keep me accountable, kind of, sort of. But I want people in the trench, right? I want people that are standing beside me and not just looking from afar necessarily, but they're there and they're like, "Hey, man, let's yeah, you're paying me to do a job here, so let's get busy." That's what you want, and that also makes you invested. So, and that's what I've done. I do it in my personal life. I do it in my work life. So that's accountability in action. Okay, you can see it. Look around and ask some of the other people in business. Do they have coaches? Do they have mentors? And some of you listen to this know exactly you may not have it currently, but you know exactly what I'm talking about because someone probably came along and helped you and hopefully held you accountable to getting that start, to pushing yourself. Now, why can't that continue? Okay, we reached it. We've reached the pinnacle. Well, what's the pinnacle? You know, are you Elon Musk? Are you have billions of dollars? I'll tell you right now, you can tell me your business, your company. If you're in business, you can tell me what it is, and don't put yourself in a box because I can promise you, I will find someone out there and show you probably hundreds of businesses that are crushing it in the same industry. And I can also guarantee if you go and look, they probably have a few coaches, keeping them accountable and driving them, helping them push through that, right? So part of it also is like, let's be honest, like accountability isn't always comfortable, right? That's the part that's hard. It's not comfortable. And I was watching this crazy video the other day. It's like on social media somewhere, but I don't know. To me, in my mind, I'm sure it's like it's just a way. I don't know. It's funny. It's entertaining. It may be made up. I don't know. I'm assuming it is. But man, this dude's jacked, and it says something about like when your trainer catches you doing something right. So like he's jacked. You can tell. I mean, this dude is buff. And he's like, "Grr," and he's plowing through like people marching over to like this fast food joint. And there's this dude standing there. And you can tell the guy needs some some help getting in shape, and he's at the fast food, and he like turns around, and bam, this dude's there, like buff. He just like knocks the food out of his hand and like throws the shake down, and whatever the guy's holding, he's like screaming at him, just like, "What are you doing?" Now that's if you guys have if y'all seen the video, I mean, it is funny, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's intense, right? But that is that would be very uncomfortable. I mean, can you imagine standing in this line of holding your hamburger and your French fries and your shake, and somebody comes in and like knocks it out of you, and they're screaming at you, and um, but that's kind of what you want, right? That's an uncomfortable moment. But to some degree, if you keep putting yourself in that situation where you're skirting around your accountability, what good is that doing you? So it's not always going to be comfortable, and that's okay. It means facing the truth and owning up to your mistakes, our mistakes, and making the tough decisions, right? It's okay to stumble, but that's why you have the accountability, to encourage you, call you out on it, make you a little uncomfortable, and then encourage you like, okay, it's all right, man. Let's get up. Let's move forward, right? Push through it. But growth and greatness don't come from playing it safe. Okay. This stuff doesn't happen without accountability. Discomfort. And I mean, think about how uncomfortable you were when you first probably started your business. The stress, the risk, like what if it doesn't work? So all of that's not very comfortable. It's not a very comfortable thought process. But you push through, and like when you get that victory, right? Growth and greatness does not come from playing it safe. Okay? So embracing accountability means stepping out of your comfort zone and taking charge of your destiny, of your business, of your life, the goals and dreams and aspirations and all of this stuff that you want. Stepping out of your comfort zone and taking charge of it with that accountability. That's what that means. Embracing it. Okay. So when you embrace accountability as a way of life, even though it's discomforting sometimes, it's not just about achieving a single milestone. It's about setting yourself up for sustainable success. And that's something very important, right? If you think about business, like sustainability, is this sustainable? Is what we're doing as a company sustainable? So the same thing for your life. Um, it's about setting yourself up for sustainable success by building a culture of accountability. So now you it's not just you. Once you start to step into that, you can build this culture in your business and in your life and in your home of accountability in your business, personal life. And you're paving the way for like continuous growth and fulfillment. It's the purpose. Build that culture. If you've got children, let them see it. If you've got children, you should be holding them accountable, right? For the chores that they have to do, for the grades they have to make, you want them to make, for pushing themselves in sports, for just being a better them, right? This upscale version, making them better than a couch potato who does nothing. Accountability, holding yourself and your employees, and that's part of your job too, is not in a harsh way, not in a, micromanaging way, but holding them accountable and having your leaders, like you're holding your leaders accountable if you're the owner of your company and your leaders are holding their teams accountable. But somebody's got to be holding you accountable. And it's not, I mean, well, my wife does that. No, she doesn't. She might around the house and like all this stuff, but I'm sorry. You better find something else, because that's going to make things a little volatile, especially if it's uncomfortable. Nothing wrong with, like, you know, doing business and life together. My wife and I work together, and she will keep me accountable on certain things. But there's also some things like, no, like I want someone else to talk to about this, because I just don't want to bring that friction in our life. So keep that in mind. Like, find this group or find people or community. BirdFlow, we have, we do the coaching and consulting, CEOs, owners of companies and their leadership teams, and 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 a community. So there's other business owners, like-minded people who are speaking and talking, and people are learning from one another. And it's a way, like, hey, even when like your mentor's not there, your coach isn't there, people are communicating like, hey man, how's that thing going? Oh yeah, well, I haven't got to that yet. Why not? Man, I'm pumped. I'm excited for you. How can I help? What can I do? Let's help you move forward. Think about maybe you're holding people accountable. That's awesome. So, such an important thing for that to be a part of your life, part of your business. I know, been a little bit of a rant. Just really wanted to dive in and talk about this. I was thinking about it the other day, and I did a post about it just for me personally, and talked about a little bit about it very quickly. And then I thought, man, I need to really talk to my listeners on the Under Pressure podcast about this, because it is something very important, and it's something that I'm honestly, like, I'm oftentimes I find myself without accountability, and that's why I've really, like, hey, wait a minute, like, so I've moved to a new town, and I'm in a new realm, and so it's like I kind of left some of my accountability behind, right? So now I've got to find it, and that's exactly what my wife and I did, and that's what I've done. So stepping into that accountability, and guess what? It's a little scary. It's like I talked about earlier, a little uncomfortable, because I know people are going to be like poking me and like, hey man, what, what did you do this? Did you do that? Have you done, that is uncomfortable. But when I look back later, I'm going to be like, man, thank you for that. Right. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning into this episode of Under Pressure. Remember, embracing accountability, it's not a sign of weakness. Okay. It's a strategic move towards achieving greatness in your business and in your life. So go out there, face the challenges head on, and thrive under pressure. You see how I did that? So listen, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like Under Pressure, subscribe, share it, tell someone about it, even if it's just this one episode, someone that maybe needs some accountability, or they need to hear this message. Maybe you're already doing it. If you know someone that, like, boom, a light went off and you're like, man, they need to hear this, share it with them. All right. And whatever thread you're listening and viewing this on, leave a comment and make suggestions. And I don't care if it's not even a positive comment. Just make a comment. Let me know what you think. But I am very appreciative of you of tuning in today, listening, and I hope everyone out there has a great day. We'll talk soon. Later.